You ever watch someone realize right there in front of you that they're not in charge of the universe? That was Joyce Reed, clutching that clipboard like a life raft, voice cracking as she tried to get through the eviction notice, except this time, she was the one getting thrown out. Not me. Not the farmer she'd spent 3 years trying to bulldoze out of her perfect suburban world. That moment? I'll remember it the rest of my life. Joyce in her press blazer, sheriff's deputy, standing awkward as she stammered out legal jargon, finally realizing everything she'd built was coming down and there was not a damn thing she could do about it. Now, maybe you're thinking, this can't be real. HOA presidents don't get kicked out, they do the kicking. I hear you. That's what Joyce thought, too, until the deputy pointed to my signature at the bottom of that notice. Ma'am, property owners got every right. End of the month. You need to vacate. She kept saying there must be some mistake, kept looking for a loophole, like she always did. Only this time, there wasn't one. I was just watching it all go down from my porch, coffee mug in hand, leaning against the doorframe of my old farmhouse, the same house Joyce said was an eyesore from her subdivision across the field. For years, she tried to buy me out, bully me, shame me, call my farm a hazard, and try to get the county involved just because she didn't want to see a barn or a field when she looked out her kitchen window. The joke? That patch of ground her pride and joy, her precious Willowbrook estates, only existed at all because I leased the land to the developers. Every street, every mailbox, every manicure blade of grass over there, all because I let it happen. She just never bothered to do the homework. Let me back up a sec, because the way Joyce Reed fell from HOA Queen Bee to, well, not much of anything, took 3 years and a whole lot of mistakes on her part, each one documented, filed, and ready for court by the time the showdown finally happened. It started simple. March, Tuesday morning. I'm checking my fence line, something any farmer does, making sure some new neighbor's dog hasn't dug under the boundary. Joyce comes striding across the field in white sneakers, HOA polo, clipboard like it's a weapon. First words out of her mouth. Are you the property owner? Not a hello. Not a nice to meet you. Just straight to business. Jeffrey Lopez. This is my farm, I said, wiping dirt from my hands. She looked me over like I was a problem to be solved, not a person. We need to discuss your property and how it's affecting community values. I've had HOAs try to negotiate before noise complaint to harvest, irrigation schedules, but this was different. Joyce wasn't asking. She was demanding. She'd prepared tuppage on that clipboard. Tall grass, farm equipment, unkempt appearance, she read out, making it sound like I was running a junkyard instead of a wheat field coming in strong for the spring. She wanted me to landscape, paint the barns, put up decorative fencing, and park my tractors out of sight. Total cost? About $50,000. And if I didn't, she'd escalate. That's what she said. But here's the thing. I'm not just a farmer. I did 20 years as a paralegal before inheriting the land from my uncle. I know how to research, document, and build a legal case from scratch. So instead of yelling or giving in, I just nodded, told her I'd look forward to reading her notice, and started a file. Joyce Reed /HOA overreach. Every email, every letter, every phone call, every time she set foot on my property, I kept records, snapped photos, even recorded conversations when I could. And Joyce, she just kept handing me more rope. Petitions, angry letters, trips to the county, trying to get my AG exemption revoked, all of it. She even showed up 3 more times with her architectural review committee, suburban commandos, in matching polis claiming the right to inspect my land for violations. Each time, I asked for the specific code or statute. Each time, she couldn't produce one. That was the first twist when I asked if she even knew who owned the land under her house. See, most people think they own everything. The house, the yard, the ground beneath. But in Willowbrook, that ground was leased to the developers who then subleased the common areas to the HOA, all under the original lease I still held. Section 12.3, right in black and white. I could terminate any sublease for harassment or violation of the Community Cooperation Clause. So I gave Joyce one last chance. Sent her a letter, explained the law, offered to settle it quietly if she'd back off. What did she do? Double down. Sent an even nastier letter, CC'd county officials, Even tried to drag the AG extension agent into it. Bless their hearts, both those guys called me before lunch. Jeff, what the hell is your HOA president smoking? There's no such thing as an AG exemption being revoked for messiness. By June, I get the lawsuit papers, Joyce and her HOA suing me for damages and demanding a court order to force me to clean up my farm. I hired Justin Nelson, best property lawyer in the county. Justin laughed for 5 minutes straight, reading through the mess Joyce and her friends had made. Honestly, Jeff, you could countersue her in the next weekend. If you want to go nuclear, you can kick them right off your land. That's exactly what we did. Filed a counterclaim. Harassment, trespass, legal costs, punitive damages, the whole 9 yards. We sued Joyce personally, the HOA, and every board member who'd signed off. I sent a notice terminating their community center lease 90 days to vacate. The day she got served, Joyce showed up with her husband in tow, acting like I was the unreasonable one. You can't sue the HOA. We have insurance. Except, as Justin pointed out, that insurance didn't cover criminal acts or harassment. The look on her face, I wish I'd gotten a picture. After that, chaos. Joyce tried to rally the neighborhood. But by then, folks were starting to realize she'd built their dream homes on borrowed land, with a lease they never read. The meeting to fight back devolved into shouting matches. People Googling property records on their phones. Some of them even called me, asking if I'd really evict the whole HOA if I had to. Insurance dropped them. The developer dropped them. Joyce hired a new lawyer, tried to get an emergency injunction in court, claimed I was retaliating. The judge, smart woman, Brenda Brown, just asked, "Ma'am, do you have standing here? Did you read the lease? Did you, or did you not, repeatedly harass the landowner?" Case denied. No injunction. Next hearing, my counterclaim. Here comes the real kicker. A week later, I hear heavy equipment near my barn. Joyce had filed a fake county work order to block my access, rode literally, tried to stop me from moving my tractors. County crews showed up, got suspicious when I confronted them, and when they called their boss, he shut it all down on the spot. That's felony territory, false government documents, impersonating a county official. The detective called me herself, wanted to know if I take a restitution deal. Joyce pleads guilty, pays up, and resigns forever. Of course I took it. Joyce pled out, got hit with fines, was forced to apologize in public, and banned from any HOA leadership ever again. Her criminal conviction voided the HOA's insurance for everyone else. The developer dissolved the HOA, and the rest of the board settled my lawsuit out of court, paid my legal fees, put an apology in a newspaper, and agreed to never come after my farm again. And you'd think Joyce would learn. But no, she tried one last Hail Mary, offered to buy my land outright, said her investors wanted to develop it properly. After all that, she still thought control was the answer. I told her no. She called me unreasonable, said I was ruining the neighborhood. I reminded her, "You destroyed your HOA. You ruined your community, not me." She left with one last threat, tried to file a false police report against me, got arrested again, served 6 months in jail, and finally moved away. The developer sent letters to everyone offering to buy out families who wanted to leave. A quarter of the houses went up for sale. Joyce's campaign to protect property values did more damage than my combine or my cows ever could have. But you know what? With her gone, the place turned around. The developer set up a new, limited HOA run by Jeremy Brooks, a guy who actually understands neighborly respect. No more landscaping police. No more ridiculous rules about farm equipment or unapproved colors. Folks started coming to me for farm tours. We set up a farmer's market in the old community center now. People see the barn as a feature, not a flaw. These days, kids from the neighborhood help out during harvest. Families rent garden plots, grow their own tomatoes, and the property values up 15% since the market opened. I even give talks at HOA conferences about what happens when boards overstep. Joyce Reed case is required reading in this county. They all ask if I feel sorry for her. Sometimes, maybe, but every bit of misery she endured, she earned by refusing to listen, refusing to cooperate, and thinking a title gave her the right to run other people's lives. So here's the truth. Suburban perfection isn't about conformity, it's about respect. About letting farms be farms and neighbors be neighbors. Turns out, people want community, not control. The market's thriving. My land is more valuable than ever. And my only regret is that Joyce couldn't have figured that out before she blew up her own world. Now I want to hear your stories. Have you ever dealt with an HOA president like Joyce? Have you seen a community rise from the ashes of bad leadership? Drop a comment, tell me where you're watching from, and don't forget to hit that like button if you love seeing justice done. Because sometimes living well really is the best revenge, especially when the whole town gets to enjoy the harvest.